I'm going to use these aces to break count them, two rules of magic. The first rule of magic is that you never tell an audience what you're going to do. The second rule of magic is you never repeat a trick. Well, first I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with these aces. The idea is I'm going to take them and turn them face up one at a time. I'm going to do it 4 times, meaning I will be repeating the trick, doing the trick once and repeating it 3 times, giving you lots of chances to catch me. Okay, remember the idea is that I'm going to turn the aces face up, but I'm going to do it in such a way that you won't see it. Watch. If I give the aces a simple twist like this, the first of the red aces turns face up, the ace of diamonds. Watch. One more time. This time you know what's going to happen. This time you can't miss. Look, not only is the ace of diamonds once again face down, but it's been replaced by a face-up red ace, the ace of hearts. Now that takes care of the red aces. The black aces are just a little trickier. They take 2 twists. Watch. 1 twist, 2 twists. And now, the first of the black aces, the ace of clubs, appears amid the other 3 face-down cards. Now, if you've been paying attention, and probably even if you haven't been, you know that there's only 1 ace remaining to turn face up. And that, of course, would be the elusive ace of spades. To get that ace to turn face up, we give the cards once again a twist, and sure enough, at long last, the elusive ace of spades makes its appearance. It doesn't, oh, I know what I forgot. Of course, black aces take 2 twists. Look, 1 twist, 2 twist, and that elusive ace of spades finally makes its appearance. And that is the classic of magic known as twisting the aces. You've just witnessed an imperfect but perhaps instructive performance of twisting the aces, at least my handling of it. I've brought every version of it, or at least tried out every version of it in existence. It's one of my favorite tricks because it's so versatile. It can be done as a feature in and of itself, or it can be done as an interlude between other tricks. Pretty much I've scaled it down to the original handling, plus a couple of little tweaks I'd like to share with you. Feel free to discard or incorporate those as you wish. Let's get on with it. Okay, for those of you who are still with me, let's go back over this. Most of it will be redundant for most of you. Most of it is identical to the Vernon handling, but I'll emphasize my tweaks and my variations. Here's the setup. Need I say more? It doesn't matter the order of the red cards. The ace of spades should be the 3rd card from the top as viewed with the cards face down. All right, the first element in the handling of the trick is the display of the cards and the turning over, the setting up, turning over the ace of spades, turning it back this way so that the red aces are in between the 2 black cards. All right, I do that like so. I'm going to use a buckle, and then I'm going to turn over the top 3 cards on top as one, okay? So I'm doing a triple lift turnover. Okay, there are lots of ways of doing this. Probably the most elegant way is using a pinky pull down. I use that occasionally when I'm using very good cards. I can't do it reliably. I have no fingernails. It's too inconsistent for me. So I use the buckle, but I don't like the buckle because it's too big a motion. But it's not a big motion, and a larger motion covers that smaller motion. So I do the buckle as I bring my left hand over. I pull my left hand back before I turn over the cards. Now I handle it that way. All right, I handle it this way because it covers the buckle, and I bring the left hand back rather than the right hand over because it covers less space. It's a little bit too much of a sweeping gesture if the motion continues from my left to my right. So I go left to right, and then those cards stay there as they're being flipped over. It's a little point, but I think an important one. Okay, so I've done the initial display of the ace of spades. I turn it back over in the traditional way, pulling it out and turning it face up. That's a difficult move to justify. I never, ever explain what I am doing at that point because it's a lot of words for a simple gesture that passes unnoticed. But I do think it's important that once you've played around with the cards, and this is where I deviate from Vernon's routine, I think it's important to casually display them all face down again, even though that's far from the truth. The truth is that the two red cards are face up in between the two black cards. I use Daryl's chameleon card count. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take that bottom card and count it as 1, take it off the bottom as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me show you how that works. I'm taking out just the bottom card, the ace of clubs, 1. I'm now taking it again into my left hand as 2. I'm taking it off the bottom again as 3. And because I'm not going to place it on top, I break the rhythm by showing that card before putting it on the bottom. So at speed, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, break, and put it on the bottom. Now, I do that casually. It's a difficult count. A lot of people don't do chameleon cards because of that difficult count that has to be done several times. But boy, I think it's worth it. Okay, so now you go into the Vernon routine pretty much typical. I emphasize that I do 1 twist because for the red cards, I'm going to do 1 twist and for the black cards too. So I do the Elmsley count, and I'm assuming you know the Elmsley count, displaying the first red card, the ace of hearts. I do it again and display the ace of diamonds, but this time, of course, as in Vernon, that final card goes to the bottom. Now I do my little buckle turnover again, the same way. All right, and now I'm set up for the ace of clubs, and I explained that the black cards take 2 twists. So I do the 2 twists, and I display the ace of clubs in the traditional manner, peeling the cards off one at a time, in jogging that last face down card and putting the ace of clubs here. I then use that in-jogged card to get a break under those 2 cards. Now here's a little variation too. You've got to turn over all the cards face up, or at least appear to turn all the cards face up. And if you do it this way, people don't pay attention to it, and maybe you're more self-conscious about it than the audience is aware of it. But you've only displayed 3 cards. So when I do it, I have my break under the ace of clubs. I don't spread the cards this way. I reverse spread them so that the identity and even number of those cards in the middle is ambiguous. So that ace of diamonds is playing the role of 2 cards, and you can't see either of them. So you see an awful lot of white face, and it's pretty convincing that all the cards are turning over. I'm perhaps paying too much of attention to too trivial a detail to make it worth all that effort, but it's important to me, so I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so when you turn it over like this, you're in the position for the final reveal, as in Vernon. But I like to show the face-down cards twice. This is a big deal, this last reluctant ace. So while casually pattering, without calling attention to it, I do 1 more Elmsley count, showing the cards face down. And I've transported that ace of spades by doing the Elmsley count to the bottom. I then do 1 twist. I've told them that I need 2 twists for the black aces, but I only do 1. And now I do a Jordan count that brings that ace of spades back to the 3rd position from the top, and also displays all 4 cards as face down again. All right, so there's the ace of spades back where it needs to be. So now I simply do the 2 twists and the final spread. And I think, well, I'll tell you this. The reason why I do that, the reason why I make the extra effort with the Jordan count, is I tried it out in one show years ago. And there were 2 couples sitting right at the table with me, and they both gasped. This revelation is different enough from the others and sufficiently more impossible than the others that it really does bring a climax to a repetitive trick. It doesn't seem it to me as a performer, but it does seem it to audiences. I've gotten equal reactions, or similar reactions. I always get more of a reaction to this last card, no matter what it is, than I do for the other 3. So I've kept this in, even though it takes a little bit of extra work. Okay, that's my handling of twisting the aces. I hope some of it at least proves useful to And if it doesn't, what? You've just wasted a few minutes of your day, and amortized over a lifetime, it's completely negligible. Okay, I will see you again soon, and thanks for watching. Hi, while making that video on twisting the aces, I realized I had intended to explain the Jordan count and forgot to do it. As simple as that. I'm assuming in the course of the video that you know the Elmsley count, and if you don't, there are 2 zillion sources. You can get any YouTube video that will explain that. In fact, probably million videos that explain the Jordan count too. I handle it perhaps a little more carefully because of my very dry hands. While the Elmsley count displays 4 face-down cards concealing the identity of the third, the Jordan count displays 4 face-down cards concealing the identity of the fourth. The Elmsley count displaces the third card that was third to the bottom. The Jordan count puts it back again. Let me show you what I mean. Here's an Elmsley count. All right. The Elmsley count will put that ace of hearts onto the bottom of the packet. And look, the Jordan count, which looks very similar, or should, puts that ace right back into the place where it was in the Elmsley count. Now, the Jordan count I use once in that twisting the aces routine, and it goes like this. It's just like the Elmsley count. I peel off the first card, but here's the difference. On the Elmsley count, I do the exchange now, not on the Jordan count. I take that next card off legitimately, so I have 2 and 2 here. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm putting all of the cards, both of the cards in my left hand, and pulling out the bottom card as the fourth card, which puts the ace back. So again, it's 1 card off, 1 card off. These 2 cards go down as I pull out the bottom card of the packet, the entire packet, and put it on top, which moves the third card, which moves the card from the bottom to the third position. Okay, the face-up card. Again, 1, 1. All of the cards are now in this position, and I'm pulling out the very bottom card as the last card. Okay, so the difficult part of the Jordan count is this second card. Why? Because you could risk exposure if you pull over too far. You've got to be really careful. First, when you count the second card in the Jordan count, you've got 3 cards in this hand, and you're only peeling off 1, and that could be a bit of a challenge. So it looks like this. 1, peel off that second card, and now you're home free. All of these cards get squared up. Just pull out that last card and put it on top. So at speed, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jordan count. Have fun.